This was the channel of New Moon Rapture on January 1st of 2025. And this was him on that day telling us to prepare for the imminent rapture because 2025 had arrived. That's odd. No mention here of the calendars being wrong. It's almost as if he's acting here like January was the start of what we know as 2025. Interesting. Here he is doubling down a few days later. This is him explicitly saying on January 9th, here we are in 2025. It's quite a departure from the claims he's making now. In fact, he was so convinced that things were about to kick off that he made this video on January 16th where he talked about Trump's inauguration day and the rapture would occur shortly after. After it was very clear that the inauguration meant nothing, New Moon Rapture then told us the arrival of the first real new moon was the arrival of the new year. You gotta remember here, New Moon Rapture is very clear that he gets his information directly from the Lord. And yet, his Jesus had him wasting everybody's time with all of these predictions about the inauguration day, and here we are in 2025. So there are only three conclusions we can reach here. Option number one, New Moon's Jesus is a bumbling fool who knows no more than he does. Option two, New Moon's Jesus is embarrassing him on purpose by feeding him false information and then telling him a better explanation later. Or option three, New Moon himself is just making this up as he goes. But we will now fast forward through January, February, March, April, etc. When Joshua's prediction came up in September, JR was all about that day. He was so convinced of it, here he was on September 20th saying that this was his last ever video. Well, that's strange. If the calendar is all messed up and these events are all months and months separated from our calendar, then why in the world would he possibly think the Feast of Trumpets would be on the date we call September 23rd? And why in the world was he promoting the exact same rapture prediction as all of the other clueless watchmen whom he was railing against? And September really was September, and September really was when the Feast of Trumpets would happen, and this was his last ever video. Interesting. Oh, this is him September 28th, when that was all a bust. This was him reminding his audience of the Terry. Well, that's awfully strange. If the calendar is all messed up, if it was never going to happen in September, then what delay would there be? But that all came to nothing, and he had to move the goalpost, and here he is promoting Hanukkah Rapture. Well, that's weird. If the calendar is all messed up, and these holidays are months and months removed from ours, then why in the world would he have thought that Hanukkah would occur in what we call December? When Hanukkah turned out to mean nothing, New Moon Rapture doubled down on December 14th and insisted that the rapture had to be that month. But I thought that he was getting his teachings from the Lord. So, New Moon Rapture, please tell us which of the options is correct, that your Jesus teaching you this is a bumbling moron who does not know what he's doing. Is it the fact that your Jesus teaching you this is purposely embarrassing you and making you waste everybody's time with wrong predictions? Or is it the fact that you yourself are moving the goalpost because you're just making this up? Please let us know which one it is.
December 25th. I got my neighbors that keep me up all night on purpose, that are witches, working for the government. I got them not letting me relax. I can feel when they put these devices on me because my ears start popping and my mind, it feels like it's just turning, right? Because they're putting this device that's connected to your forehead. You think I'm screwing around? I'm not screwing around. They moved in right after I moved in. And it's not only them, it's other guys across the way. And they're connected with the military. Just like right now, we have an invisible connection with the phone in the air that you can't see. It's the same thing that they can put it on you, almost like a hex, right? And this invisible technology, if they target you, they just zap you. And then as soon as they get your mind going, it just infiltrates and you see things in the mind's eye and everything. There's a whole way that this works. It's not complicated, just like your phone. And they do it to me constantly, day in, day out. Don't let me relax. They don't let me sleep. But I've endured this. I've stayed here because I believe the end is coming very soon. So there's not any time left. Now, if I thought that I was going to be here another year or even 6 months, I would leave. I would leave where I'm at. But I don't believe that. You know, if we were to just do what Bruce Peterson says and Candon says and all these pieces of say, then there would have been nobody exposing anything in 2020, 2021, 2022. Does Bruce and Candence talk about all the deceptions that are happening, all the deceptions that are coming? No, they don't do shit. Go to their pages. There's not shit on there. Why? Because they're pieces of shit, and they only stick their head out of the water to talk and then go back into their garbage cans because they're pieces of garbage people that only are scavengers, and they're just scavengers. They're just catfish sucking out the bottom of the ground. That's all they are. They're not watchmen. They're not warning people. They're not telling people things that can help them, see, the deception that is going on around us, that is the entire government, all the governments of the world, the United Nations. They haven't said anything about anything on their YouTube channel. They act as if everything is normal. Everything is just going as planned. Like we're going to just be here and things are going to be running smoothly. They don't talk about anything that's actually happening and their thoughts on where this is all going. Why? Because they're probably too scared to, or they're probably blind. They don't believe it's going to happen. Bruce Peters go on his channel. He doesn't say nothing. They're scavengers. Destroying the works of the devil. You're a scavenger piece. True Speller, you're a scavenger piece. You look like Ned Flanders, little dork. You, Bruce Peterson, you need because you're such a talker, but you probably never had that, but you need that to learn some respect. You people, man. You guys are all pieces of Candace. Go ahead and talk your pieces of crap. Go back to the hole you guys came out of, man.
Guys, you do have to believe that the rapture is happening in September in order to go. This message, it's not from me. It's not from any person. This is not a man-made message. These are from the words, the mouth of Jesus himself. And if you do not believe what he says to be true, if you do not believe, if you do not have faith, then you won't go. This is just true, guys. Jesus is the one that said it will. So do not call him a liar. Do not, because that is what you are doing.
We have so much evidence that Jesus is going to come to rapture his bride on the 23rd, 24th of this month. And if we don't believe it, that is just a crime. It's purely a crime. For God to give us so much proof, and yet we hold out on him. We don't go all in with this knowledge, this belief. We don't act like we believe it. That's just wrong. And I don't believe people like that are going to be going in this event.
There's going to be a spiritual cleansing of the churches. There's only one church that is found worthy, and that is the Church of Philadelphia. He has found a problem with the other 6 churches. Okay, and those are the churches that have been found lukewarm. Their hearts are not right with God or enough. And that is exactly what a lot of these self-proclaiming Christians, self-proclaiming churches, self-proclaiming watchmen that have turned around and said, oh, I'm looking for the return of Jesus Christ, but yet I'm the one mocking and bashing those looking for a date. Well, guess what? We didn't set those dates. God did.
All right, so I owed you guys that I would be here on this last little bit. I have to get ready to go to school. I have a test today that I haven't studied for. I'm going to give it until the 25th for all time zones. I'm going to give God my last heartbeat of faith. Because he usually, he works at the last moment. So I'm going to give God I'm going to give him, until the 25th. And then I will come on and make my public apology.
Guys, we need to have a conversation about the new moon rapture situation, and I am sure that this video will likely make some people angry, but whatever, it needs to be said. So people on my channel were asking me why I have showcased the ramblings of a man who is clearly suffering psychosis. As I have said on my channel many times, I do not take any delight in broadcasting people who are mentally unwell. I would rather not have to do this. This has to be done because this is the heart and soul of the Rapture cult. He is not a bug, he is a feature, and that's the unfortunate truth, and that's why I have to be the bad guy by showcasing it. Now, let me say again, as I've said many times on my channel, let me emphasize, when we say Rapture cult, we do not mean people who affirm that a pre-trib rapture will happen. The Rapture cult is a specific ideology. It is driven by a need to find forbidden knowledge. The date of the rapture is the object of pursuit as a kind of forbidden fruit that these people want, and they will do any means necessary to get that forbidden information. They will use occultic tactics. They will use magic numbers. They will use superstitions. And the fact of it is, in this system, the actual rapture itself, like the thought of finally being united with Jesus and the kingdom of God coming here. In this system, that's an afterthought. They are really driven by getting attention for being the one who found the forbidden fruit. That is what drives these people. And the thought of Jesus coming to fetch them is really an afterthought. That particular ideology is what we call the Rapture cult. And within that ideology, New Moon Rapture is right at home. And people get confused because they see the likes of Tom Cody or Barry Scarborough, who seem to be level-headed. But if you pay attention to this whole system, there's one camp of people, like Tom Cody, who know it's a joke, who know that they're just passing the time by talking about the news and not really expecting anything to happen, and they're doing it for entertainment. And then you have the other camp of people who are true believers. The core audience of people who watch this content, they are like little bees who go from flower to flower and spread the pollen from one channel to another to spread the tentacles of this demonic ideology. So they go and they watch New Moon Rapture and they listen to his doctrines of demons. And then they go over here and they watch Christy Step or they watch Tom Cody and they spread the propaganda on those channels. And you have the so-called responsible people like Tom Cody, Carol Vay. Have you ever heard Carol Vay take a stand and say, hey, that New Moon Rapture guy is dangerous, don't watch him? Why do you think she won't do that? Have you ever heard Tom Cody say, yeah, that New Moon Rapture guy, he's not well, don't take him seriously? Have you ever heard Tom Cody say that? Why not? You have these two camps of people who are coexisting. You reasonable people who know it's a joke. They're not willing to push back on the crazy because it would cost them an audience. They watch Tom Cody and then they go watch New Moon Rapture and they give the same accolades on both channels because to them it's all the same. We have the system that we have in the Rapture cult because the mainstream guys will not put their foot down and say, don't watch New Moon Rapture. They won't do it. They will not do it. And that's what allows the cancer to keep growing. New Moon Rapture is not some little fringe guy nobody watches. He's got thousands of subscribers. He puts out a video. He gets thousands of views. He gets all kinds of comments from people. Great work. That's amazing. He gets all those comments for that kind of nonsense on his channel. The only reason why he doesn't have more, the only reason why he didn't make it to 20,000 is just because he doesn't have the finesse, the social skills, right? He's not as smooth as Gottaminute. It doesn't have anything to do with his ideology. The only reason New Moon Rapture isn't bigger is because he's not as likable. Mark my words. Because we saw that with Mandy. Mandy was every bit as nonsensical as New Moon Rapture. Every bit as delusional. Every bit as dangerous. She got 15,000 people watching her. Same 15,000 people who would watch Mandy and say, good job, amen, you're so smart, and then go on down the road and say the same thing to Chrissy Step. So then it falls on us to have to point this out, and we become the bad guy. Look what happened to Rebecca B. Rebecca B. self-destructed. And some of us were warning, this woman is not well. This woman is crazy. This woman is not even a Christian. Some of us were saying that before she imploded because we saw the signs. Look at what happened to Cool Cat. Look at how unhinged Cool Cat became. Scotty Clark, crash and burn. Look at what happened with Dunamis. Look at what happened to Mandy. It's happened too many times. You guys may remember, about a year and a half ago, I had a debate with New Moon Rapture. That was back in 24, and he wanted to have a debate with me, kind of a debate discussion thing. And so we got together, we had a live stream, and as we were talking, I noticed pretty quick, within the first probably 10-15 minutes, that he was either mentally unwell, demonically oppressed, possibly both. And in that debate that we scheduled, I shifted it to talk about the fact that he needed deliverance. And when I did that, oh my goodness, people got so mad at me. I got so much blowback for doing that. I was the bad guy. I was the one who was on some kind of witch hunt. And there were people who stormed off my channel, people in my audience who had been, subscribers of mine who stormed off my channel and protest. And they were over on his channel supporting him and calling him brother. Where are those people now? I remember you guys. How's come you're not on his channel now, giving him accolades, calling him brother? Where'd you go? I was the bad guy, and now here we are. So it has become my unfortunate task to highlight the fact that these people are the embodiment of the Rapture cult system. The Petri dish is growing because the system is designed to reward people like him. So we'll see more Rebecca B's, and we'll see more of these New Moon Rapture type of guys. And if you point it out, you are the bad guy. That is the system that we're trying to combat here. Oh, and I also wanted to comment on a related note that some people have complained about, that when I was covering the Joshua hysteria, that I included in my videos some clips of underage adolescents swept up in the Rapture hysteria. And why did I do that? For the very same reasons, guys. That this Rapture cult system absolutely will exploit these young people. The Rapture cult exploited Patience. She was a central figure in the Joshua narrative. They had no qualms at all about brainwashing her into their ideology. And when it didn't work out, they just said, oh well. And then I, trying to report on everything these people did, I show Patience in a video, and I'm the bad guy. So I guess that's where we are. Next time you see me covering something like this, and you're asking, why am I doing this? I would just ask you, go to his channel, see how many thousands of followers he has, see how many hundreds of comments he's getting, and then maybe you'll understand why I have to put this stuff on blast. And so I look forward to another year, 2026, more of the same, and I will keep blasting away at this ideology to keep exposing it. And as I always say, stay away from rapturism.